how you doing? Tell me Cool Breeze. This is the Cool Breeze Show. And to my right, I have E Musical.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
What's good? This is my homie. I met him. He's not the reason I know about True TV. But I met him at True TV. Not True TV.
People
TV.
Yeah.
There's too many TVs. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. People TV. We actually met at People TV, and my dog went up there and did his thing. He sang, played the guitar. Did you play the violin?
Yeah, I played violin.
Like, you do it all. Tell the people what you do.
All right, so musically, I play instruments, mainly all stringed instruments. I sing, I dance. I'm also a dance teacher back in Columbus, Georgia, Company C Academy of Dance, and just basically all things that deal with music. As a matter of fact, the E in my artist name stands for everything, so the full name is Everything Musical. But we say E Musical just because that's what I put on my album. So
That's smooth though. That's smooth. You know what? Artists, y'all are more creative than us, man. Y'all names be like, it'll be like Droid, but Droid, D-O-I-D, like it has its own syllables. Y'all are so creative with the names, man. So what got you started in music?
So growing up, I was an orchestra student, and I remember the guy, his name was Mr. David Hinson, if I'm not mistaken. It was back in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and that guy, he was a jazzy cat. White dude, super slender, tall, curly hair, glasses, pointy goatee, referred to everyone as a cat. Any type of verb was a shindig, like he was that jazzy, like he was jazzy.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, he got me into music real heavy, not just classical, but like jazz, blues, rock, everything. He was like, just because you play violin doesn't mean you're relegated to anything. You need to explore and you need to be better than me. So I was like, all right, bet. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, and you started off wanting to play guitar though.
Yes, I did. So I thought orchestra would have guitar because it was all strings, but I was sorely mistaken. So what happened was, I wound up getting this guitar. It was a first act, terrible guitar, by the way. And I went over to him and I signed up for orchestra, and he was like, I'm sorry, we don't teach guitar here. Comes to find out, all the guitar players were actually in choir, which was weird. And I wasn't going to sign up for choir because I wasn't that big into singing back then. I didn't think I could. And so with that being said, he put me on into orchestra. I wanted to do bass because it was like super huge and cool. But, I was too short back then. I'm a pretty short dude. And I was really short back then. So he put me on violin instead. And I just been on it for, oh my gosh, it's almost 20 years, if not 20 years.
Wow. That's so crazy. Now, violin is I like to think of the violin and like the sax, right? The sax, those are the sexy instruments. You walk up on a chick playing the violin, yeah, it's pretty much over. Like, you ain't gotta say too much. You're like, oh damn, for me? Like,
Yeah.
But it's extremely hard to learn, right?
It's very uncomfortable. Even today, like it's a very uncomfortable instrument. And I think that's the thing that makes it difficult. It's just how unnatural you have to like position your body, You getting used to like having your face against your shoulder, getting used to like bending your wrist to where it straightens out on the violin. And the fact that they want you to have mobility still to use vibrato on the strings for the quality of sound. It's wild. The way you're properly supposed to hold a bow is wild. It's an uncomfortable instrument, but once you understand like the posture of everything, after that it's pretty simple.
I want to learn an instrument, but instruments they're something else. They are truly something else.
Yeah.
To take an object and create actual music from it, that's hard.
Yeah, it is.
People can't even do it with their own mouth.
Yeah.
So, okay, now another part of what you do is your dance. How did you get into dance?
Oh, buddy. All right. Well, so there's a martial art. It's a Brazilian martial art called capoeira. And I studied capoeira a long time ago when I was a kid. And we moved from Hawaii to Louisiana, and I saw these guys doing this thing that looked like capoeira, except they looked like they were doing it super wrong. So I went over there to correct them, and I'm like, hey, this is how you do it. And they were like, what are you doing? I was like, capoeira. And they were like, well, we're breaking. And I was like, breaking? And they were like, yeah, break dancing. I was like, oh, cool. So they were like, well, let's grab this kid and like indoctrinate him, you know, bring him into the fold. So yeah, I learned breaking in Louisiana, and then I just kept it ever since and learned every other hip hop style after that.
Okay. Man, you saying Hawaii, Louisiana. You military brat?
Yes, I am.
Hey, another military brat on the show.
Let's get it.
All right. You did spend some time in the military.
Yes, I did.
How long?
I did 6 years in the Air Force. That was an interesting time. Yeah, very interesting.
Were you able to use any of your talents in the military? Because I do know there are different sectors for people with talents.
Yes and no. So I used the attributes of my talents for my job. I was an aircraft structural maintainer, aka sheet metal. So, you know, being particular on things and noticing small details was very important. We also painted aircraft, so again, noticing details and like just being very meticulous. Those were attributes to, you know, music and talent and just being an artist in general. But I did get a chance to play my violin at quite a few Air Force events. Especially when they had like a few gospel concerts and stuff like that. You know, once they found out I played violin, I was getting called to do everything. Weddings, concerts, funerals, unfortunately. Just all sorts of stuff.
When you bring up the fact that you had to learn, well, not learn, but the fact that you could pick up on small details, is that the same? I guess that translates to why they say like the majority of doctors play musical instruments.
Yeah.
But it makes sense now. I didn't know how detailed it was. So.
It's extraordinarily detailed, and it's either you're picking up on something that you see, or you're picking up on something that you hear, or usually they work in tangent as well. I know that when it comes to teaching, and, you know, when teaching music, one thing that you have to pay attention to is every small little detail with the muscles of the hand that's going on, you know, because a person, you know, let's just say I'm playing piano and whatnot, and I'm not relaxed and I'm tense, I'm going to move significantly slower than a person who's relaxed and just letting their fingers flow. So it's just things like that you have to be able to notice when people are doing things like that. So yeah.
All right. Now, you have music that's actually out. You created something new, and this is actually kind of hard. We talked about some of these things, but in this song, not only are you playing, you're playing several different instruments. You're singing, you're rapping. Just tell me about the project, man. It's crazy.
So, Heartstrings is the name of the song you're referring to.
Yeah.
And this one is very interesting. I actually just got finished talking about it and elaborating on it not too long ago. And it was just the fact that it's a song where I took a concept from orchestra. We only play 3 strings on our violins and violas and cellos, and we would just like get together. One of us would just start it with that same plucking monotony, and then someone else will jump in and start doing it, and then someone else will jump in and start doing it, and then next thing you know, we just started improvising together. And so I remembered that concept, and I remember how none of my friends did anything with it. So I was like, well, shoot, why not? So I grabbed my violin, did some things, did some funny little filters to it, grabbed the keyboard, got some chords in on it, grabbed my guitar, threw a crazy filter on it as well. I just did it. I tried to take whatever resource I had and see how I can transform it based off of what's influenced me.
Now, is it a love song?
Kind of, sort of.
Or is it a breakup song?
It is a breakup song.
Okay,
It's the aftermath of a relationship.
That's what I felt like when I was listening to it. But you know, I gotta ask the artist himself.
Yeah. So basically, me being a hopeless romantic, keyword hopeless.
I'm in the same boat. I got you. I'm with you.
Yeah. So you know, the song is basically about me just constantly, repeatedly picking the wrong one, you know? And like, again, like we sometimes invest ourselves into relationships and we invest in it as if there's so much certainty in it, and we completely don't guard our hearts at all, you know? So when we say that someone played our heart, well, you let them.
Well, it'd be like that because, okay, the opposite way, like you're never gonna get where you want to go if you're just complete. Because that's what I was dealing with for the longest. Like I was just completely gone. I was like, you know what? Fuck, if you don't act the way I want you to act, then fuck it. Like it's not going. But you're the opposite. You're like, you know what? Come to me, baby.
Come hurt me.
No, I'm not with it. I don't want smoke. Listen, I'm not a heart gangster. You a heart gangster. I'm not with it.
Oh, man.
But yeah, it's actually a good song.
Thank you.
It's actually a good song.
Thank you so much.
I think I would want to learn an instrument. But what advice would you give somebody that wants to learn an instrument, especially like adults? Like kids kind of pick it up a little bit different.
Kids do pick it up differently, and a lot of kids will relent it afterwards. I would say as an adult, you know, adults, we value our time.
Right.
You know, do not try to learn an instrument that you're not in love with. That is super key. If you want to learn an instrument, it doesn't matter how hard it may seem or how technical. It doesn't matter. It's just like learning a language. If you're not in love with it, you're not going to learn it. Like, period. So if you, for example, a lot of people pick up the ukulele because of the simplicity, but then they get bored with it because they don't listen to music that has ukulele in it.
Ever.
Like, ever. So it's just like, if you're not a fan of it, why would you try to learn it? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I would say whatever it is, just make sure that you love it, and the rest will just come with your hard work.
Okay. Like everything, hard work.
Yeah, hard work. Yeah, of course.
You want to do something? Hard work. It's really that easy. Just work hella hard.
Yeah, just work hella hard. Be consistent.
So, do you have any new projects or like, well, mainly an EP? Like, all right, when are you dropping like something that we can actually play back over and over?
Okay, so I am redoing my last EP and adding 6 more songs onto it.
Wow.
Just because I I didn't master my last EP. I mixed it, but I didn't master it, which is a huge no-no, but I didn't know it was my first one. But I did just recently publish a single that should be dropping. I thought it was going to drop at the end of the month, but for some odd reason, I just said, why not? So your boy is going to be dropping it at midnight.
Today?
Today.
Well, by the time you see this, what's the name of the project?
The name of this project is called Puzzle Piece, and the way
Puzzle
the
Piece.
piece is spelled is P-E-A-C-E, so like peace, inner
Right,
peace,
right,
you know?
right.
So Puzzle Piece.
So is it the search for peace? Or
It's
discovering peace?
It's it was influenced by a comedian. I wish I could remember his name at the moment, but he did a stand-up called Jigsaw. You wouldn't think it's a stand-up. You would think it's a TED Talk with funny elements because he often talks about relationships. So this is yet another breakup song.
Who broke your heart, bro? Let's talk about that for a
Who
second.
hasn't broke my heart? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That's funny. All right. Oh my goodness. You know what? But that's the best music. Listen,
Yeah.
Keisha Cole sucked after she became happy.
Oh no!
That was it. The only good song that Keisha Cole made that was happy. Love.
Yeah.
Never knew what I was missing. That was hard.
Yeah, that's my jam right
After
there.
that, it's like, I don't want to hear you happy. Like, somebody come, like, Somebody could be toxic in this woman's life. Why, nigga? Daniel Gibson, you didn't do a good job. You should have cheated more, nigga.
You should have cheated more.
I'm playing. These are jokes, but seriously, her music was hard.
Yeah.
And then she became happy and was like, why?
Yeah.
It's not like we want you to be depressed. It's just your depressing music is very, very good. I'm just sorry.
I think that's what we relate to, though, you know? And even if you've never been to that degree of pain,
right? You
don't want to, so you can relish in someone else being in that degree of pain as well. There's just this sense of just being able to place yourself in that situation in a very safe way if you're not able to relate to it. But if you can relate to it, man,
you feel it.
You feel every piece.
Rod Wave.
Oh my God.
Every word. I sing every word, baby. Every word. Oh man.
That junk hurts.
So let the people know where to find you.
Okay, so you can find me personally on YouTube, bboye.musical. You can find me on Instagram, bboy.e.musical. And when it comes to all music streaming platforms, you can find my music literally anywhere. And you can find me under eMusical. If you want to see my last EP, I don't suggest it, but if you see my last EP, that's going to be the first lullaby. But be on the lookout for Puzzle Piece, literally dropping at midnight today. It's going to be such a wonderful, this is like a song where I'm just like, I'm shotgunning it everywhere. I'm just like, yo, this song slaps.
Oh man,
yeah.
Let's go. Two things I want to talk about. You're a mentor.
Yes, I am.
All right, what kind of got you into mentoring?
You know, that's a really good question because, I just realized that growing up, I've always had people way older than me spending a lot of personal time with me and like molding me and pouring into me the transparency of their life. And just letting me learn from their mistakes, letting me learn from the things they learned, letting me learn from things they wish they knew, you know, just all sorts of stuff. So I've always been fortunate and blessed to have someone trying to pour into me. And I do realize how much of a difference that made, especially if I didn't have them, you know? So I got my, I guess, I won't say last mentor because he's still my mentor, but I remember getting mentored specifically when I was in the Air Force, and I think that was the big thing for me.
Oh, yeah.
There was this guy, Dejan Green. I hope he's doing his artist thing. I really do. He's an amazing rapper. And, you know, he was also a Christian man and stuff like that, and he would spend so much personal time with me. We would talk about our struggles as men, as black men. You know, we would talk about our struggles as artists. We would talk about our struggles of being a Christian in the military, which is exceptionally hard. You know, so there's like things like that. And then once I moved from there and I moved to Korea, I didn't really have a mentor, and I saw the difference. And then I moved to Nebraska, and then I came across my mentor, Ian Hayes, an amazing singer. Oh my God, an amazing singer. And he can impersonate John Legend really well too. Oh my Lord. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so I was so fortunate to have that. And so I said to myself, I'll always try to pour into someone too. So usually if I find someone that's like, I don't know, like a teenager that I can like just impress upon and just say, hey, this is how I did things and this is where I went awry. So just keep in mind there's a speed bump right here. Or keep in mind there's a pothole here.
Did this lead you into writing your book?
Yes, it did. Okay. When I wrote my book, I just realized I had made so many interpersonal mistakes that I just did not want other people to follow suit. It was things that I saw that are common to people. Jumping from relationship to relationship, not really learning how to love yourself, but like how it damages you when you don't. A lot of people don't even know how to value and utilize their singleness. Your singleness is a tool. Your singleness is a whole weapon, and people don't even get that. Yeah, it sucks to feel lonely every now and again, but I would not have learned
every night.
Every night when I'm squeezing my pillow. But you know, I would never have learned the languages that I learned. I would have never traveled to other countries.
It's a certain level of freedom because first off, you're not dependent on a person's schedule. You aren't there is no other person's opinion in your actions, which is the best part because Anyway. um.
No one's eating your fries.
No one's eating it. Let's go. I don't even need to say no more. Keep going. I'm done. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, bro. I know it is what it is, bro. And I'm just saying, your singleness is it can be a very beautiful thing.
Right.
And everyone deals with the hardships of not having companionship. But what people are forgetting is when you're in a relationship, there's hardships too. Except now you have to deal with it in a way that's applicable for them, and not just how it works for you.
Yeah.
So now the way you handle problems is different.
Relationship is a team sport.
It's a team sport.
Singleness is tennis.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And not
There's
every
a lot of love.
Exactly. It's a lot of love.
But love in tennis means zero. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That sucks.
How ironic. But you know what? All right, so I play a game called Overwatch, and I realized that sometimes having teammates is probably the most garbage thing on the planet.
The wrong teammates.
The wrong teammates.
The wrong. Let's make that clear. The wrong teammates. Because if you have the right teammates, you'll run, man.
Yep. But keep this in mind. There's a lot of wrong teammates.
There's a lot of them. Yeah.
Not everyone is the right teammate. There's no way.
Yeah. You know what? I just recently had developed this something I was gonna say on the podcast. It was I'm willing to shoot my shot at 100 women to find that one right. Because when you find the one right woman, it's kind of cake. It's like, man, I wish life was always this easy. I mean, you still have to deal with it. Yeah, it's much easier. So listen, keep shooting your shot. Don't ever stop.
Absolutely.
Don't ever stop. Ever.
Absolutely.
It's worth it.
How else am I going to write a song like Heartstrings?
Heartstrings Part 2. No. Okay, last question. What's your dream for eMusical?
I would love to continue making music, and but one of my biggest things that I really want to do is collab with as many local artists as possible, so they can get their experience with working with other people, but also so they can also experience other dimensions of music that they're not used to, and maybe by me knowing someone that knows someone that knows someone, that can help someone else out. You know what I mean? Sharing the love is really important. That's one thing I will commend Columbus, Georgia for. They are so good at sharing the love. They are so good at sharing the love.
Shout out to Columbus, Georgia.
Hoga, baby.
Shout out to Treva. What's the name of the organization that I met that day? I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Oof.
I'm so sorry. If y'all follow me, I don't think they follow me on Instagram. So yeah, they'll never know. Oh my goodness. This is the homie Cool Breeze. This is Crystal Negro. You can find me on Instagram at Cool Breeze Media. You can find me on YouTube, Cool Breeze Media. You can find me on Twitter at King Breeze Sensitive Ass, and you can find me on Facebook at Crystal Negro. We appreciate you for watching. We love you. Y'all have a good day.